Hey, it's Diana of Cauldron and Craft. This video is a long time in the making because I intended to make it last year and I never did it, so I'm making it now. There is something about this time of year, like springtime, that makes me want to make videos. I think because spring is so busy and there's so many things to be done and I want to document them. And I haven't been consistent about making videos in the last year and a half, 2 years. And I wanted to talk about that today and just share a life update and all the things that have happened to our family in the last 2 years. So let's get started. I have some tea. It is an herbal tea. I don't remember what's in it. I think it's called Tension Tamer. It's supposed to have B vitamins, but other things that's supposed to be relaxing as well, caffeine free. And I have notes so I don't forget anything. First of all, I originally started this channel, I started making videos for this channel back in 2022, because our dog died, and I actually had a lot of stuff go on at the end of 2021, and work was extremely stressful. I actually started therapy at the end of 2021, and with the holes that I felt like I had in my life at the time and wanting to do something creative and something that I thought would force me to be in the moment, that's why I started making videos to begin with. And because my perception is that in order to film videos, film content, make films, you have to be in the moment and paying attention to what's going on around you. A lot of the videos I like to watch on YouTube are more cozy and like slow living kind of videos, but also where people do creative things. And I consider myself a creative person, but I don't have experience in making film and videos. And I had kind of gotten away from a lot of the other creative things that I used to do, like crocheting and things like that. So it just, making videos felt like it was going to fill that void in my life and also be a new challenge. So because I don't have experience in it, I feel like I'm constantly learning how to make better videos, how to edit and videos to make them better. So it was going to be a challenge. And I did make videos consistently throughout 2022 and I enjoyed it. I think my videos were okay. Obviously they never went viral or anything like that, but I still made them and I was learning along the way. And I think the last video I made in that very consistent period was about the DIY holiday gifts. And then on January 2nd, 2023, we got our new puppy. And we had talked about getting a dog. So our previous dog passed away in 2021 and I wanted a dog right away. And my husband did not want another dog right away, which I could understand. And I am glad we waited, because you think that a new puppy, a new animal is going to perfectly take the place of the old one, and it does not. So I remember when we first got Nix crying because she wasn't Pepper, which was our last dog. And so either way, but we had been talking about getting another dog for a few months, but we wanted to wait till after the holidays. So the day after the holidays, I went to go get this puppy and she quickly took over our life. Obviously, I think I had videos planned for January and for all of that, and then it just didn't happen. The house was chaotic because now we had a puppy in the house, and fortunately, because it was not our first rodeo with having a puppy, having a dog, her puppyhood went actually really well. Like, she potty trained really well. She will do anything for any food at all, even her kibble. So she was extremely easy to train. And she's also very friendly. She loves other people. She loves other dogs. So we started going to the dog park in our town basically every day, because when we would go on walks in our neighborhood, she wanted to meet every single person and meet every single dog. She loves children, especially back when she was a puppy. So we started going to the dog park and we started making friends there, and that became our social life for all of us. And we really enjoyed that time. So for almost 2 years until we moved here, spoiler, we went to the dog park every day. And we became such good friends with the people that we also went to the park with, that we exchanged phone numbers. We would coordinate when we were going to meet. Even on holidays, we would figure out when each other were going to be there. We had a little club, and I miss them dearly. I miss them a lot. In 2022, we also got another kitten because we have a senior cat she's now 14, and Derek, my son, would always talk about wanting another cat, and my husband said, no more cats, no more pets, because at this point we have Penny the senior cat and Nix the puppy. And Derek said, well, what if we got an outside cat, and what if we just took care of an outside cat? And right around that time, one of our friends had a pregnant cat that had kittens, and we went over there for a party, and a kitten got put in my arms, and they said, just hold the kitten, just hold her. And even Derek was trying to obey my husband and said, Daddy said no more cats. Daddy said no more pets. And I told them, we have a senior cat, we have a puppy, we don't know how they're going to react to a kitten. And they said, it'll just be a trial run. It was not a trial run. And this was 4th of July weekend-ish, around the time that we got her name is Celine. And I went and got everything that she needed. We set her up in Derek's room. It was going to be his cat, and he was going to clean her litter box and do everything for her, because I had Penny and Nix, and it was going to be his cat. And it very much became his cat. She only likes him. She tolerates us. She sleeps in his room. Her litter box was in his bathroom at the time, which was attached to his room. Now it's still attached to his room. So that went really well. Because she had her own space, we were able to keep her safe, make sure that Nix never got her. And overall, so now we have a dog and 2 cats again, which is what we used to have pre-2020, a dog and 2 cats. Around this time last year, in 2024, I felt motivated to make videos again. Nix was over a year old. Things were settled down. Things were feeling normal. I was doing a lot of gardening. Obviously, I made a couple gardening videos, and then I intended on making a Where Have I Been? What's New with Our Family video last year. And my last video I made last year, I think, was Beltane, where I had done a whole ritual about garden abundance. And literally within like a week, I'll have to go back and look at the calendar to see exactly, but there was like this freak hailstorm that destroyed everything. And I was devastated. Like, I was beside myself with, like, I did this whole ritual for garden abundance, and my whole garden got destroyed by hail. So I felt like, I guess, sort of like an imposter. Just like, how can I should have made a video about it. I knew that I should have made a video about it, and I didn't, because I just was so upset about it. But then, and this is why I should have made a video about it, because I still ended up having a very abundant year. So once I got over my grief and anger about this, people on the internet assured me that the plants would grow back, and they did. So the majority of my plants came back. They recovered from the damage that they got. There were some pepper plants and tomatoes, a few of the ones I had started from seed, because that was the other thing, is I had started this entire garden from seed, all of it. And I had nurtured them for weeks and planted them, and I had so much hope. But there was just a few plants that I had to replace with starts from the nursery. And I remember comparing the ones that I started, especially the tomatoes, because tomatoes are so finicky. My tomatoes that I grew from seed were so hardy, and the ones from the store, by that point, because it was so late in the season already, were so spindly and kind of sad looking, but it was all I could find. But they caught up. So that's the thing, is I was so upset about this, but then they caught up. Everything was fine, and I had a great year. I will insert some pictures and videos. I'm sure that I have some. So But by that point, I had gotten out of the habit of making videos again. So I just kind of stopped. And then we started saying, what if we got another kitten? What if we added another kitten to the family? Because Celine, our at this point youngest kitten, and Penny did not get along. They at all. Like, they don't like each other. They would bully each other, and like not fighting, but just bullying. So Celine would sit at the top of the stairs and Penny would sit at the bottom, and Penny would want to go up the stairs, but she wouldn't because Celine would be at the top of the stairs. And so just stuff like that. And so I thought, well, if we got another kitten, another young kitten, then it could be friends with Celine. They could be buddies. And because let's be realistic here, Penny's now 14 years old. So she's obviously not going to live forever, even though my husband says Penny's going to live forever. But we wanted to have a playmate for Celine. So in August is when we start having this conversation, 2024. And I start looking, and I found a kitten. I found someone that had kittens, and we went to go pick up this little void kitten, and we named him Jupiter to go with our other mythology name. So Penny is short for Penelope. Nyx is the goddess of the night in Greek mythology. Celine is the goddess of the moon. And Jupiter obviously is the god of something or other in mythology. And Derek picked the name Jupiter. But literally on the way home, we found out that Jupiter had a little cold. We hear, achoo. And I thought, oh my goodness. So we got this cat for free. The person gave him away. But then we had this vet bill like within the weekend where I took him to get him all fixed up and get over his upper respiratory infection. And obviously we had to keep him, we tried to keep him quarantined from the other two. And we had to give him his medicine multiple times a day. And he looked so sad and sickly. I'll insert a picture. But he pulled through, and he became, like, he has the best personality. He's so friendly. He's the opposite of Celine. He loves people, loves pets, loves to snuggle. He will crawl up on my shoulder and just cuddle with me. So he's been the best. Like, we're glad that we added him to our family. Editing Diana stepping in here to say that we had planned for Celine and Jupiter to be best friends, but it actually turned out to be Penny and Jupiter that ended up being best friends. And it's so cute to see them together. Jupiter follows Penny around everywhere, and they sleep together at night, and Celine barely tolerates Jupiter. But literally, I want to say it was the weekend that we got him, like the day after we got him, we found out we were moving. And the timeline for moving was, we had talked about maybe moving in January of 2025 because the holidays are the most stressful time of work for me. So I just did not see us being able to move before January. But the way things shook out, we started looking at moving in October, but then it had to be October. It couldn't be November or December. If we were going to move before January, it had to be October. So we start looking for places, and we happened upon this house, which at some point I'll do a house tour, and we applied for it. We got it all within like a couple days, and this is in September. So then we had to put in our notice at our old place, which we lived there for 6.5 years. So we had 6.5 years worth of stuff. We were crammed into this 2-bedroom townhouse because we just outgrew. Because at this point, like by the time we moved, I was working from home 3 days a week. Derek was doing school at home. So we just didn't have the space that we really needed. So we got a bigger place, and we moved to Atlanta because of my husband's job. And so we spent October moving. Like, we had a month overlap between the two places where we started moving stuff and then eventually moved the pets. And then I launched into the busy season for me at my job. And let's see, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. That pretty much brings us to now. And like I said at the beginning, it's springtime. I feel motivated to, first of all, just do stuff, but wanting to document those things. And still, I have that desire to be better about being in the moment so that I can make better videos and just share. You know, I want to be part of the YouTube community where I make videos that people enjoy. And the other thing is I got off of Facebook and Instagram back in February. So just with the political climate and just the state of social media now, I just could not be on those platforms anymore. For Facebook, I'd had a Facebook account since 2005. So almost 20 years that I had a Facebook account. And I deleted it. I downloaded all my data. I downloaded my pictures and everything and deleted my entire account because they give you 30 days. So if anyone is thinking about doing this, they do give you 30 days to recover it. If you reconsider, if you decide that you must have access to your old account, then you can recover it. But I didn't. And then for Instagram, I think I deleted a lot of my pictures, and I actually had a few different Instagram accounts. So I had my main personal one, I have one for Cauldron and Craft, and I had one for like hair stuff. And I deleted that off my phone, and I haven't missed it. I haven't missed those. The only thing I've missed is Facebook Marketplace, because it was such a great way to get secondhand stuff, like for me to buy it, but also if I wanted to get rid of something, I could sell it on Facebook Marketplace. So I do miss that. And if there's anything I've considered getting back to is creating a new Facebook account, just blank, and doing Facebook Marketplace again. However, the way that I primarily would communicate with people on Marketplace was through Facebook Messenger, and I definitely don't want Facebook Messenger on my phone again, because it's one of the worst. If you don't know this, it's one of the worst apps for data privacy. So I haven't given in to the urge yet to get back on Facebook, and I don't want to give people my personal cell phone number if I'm trying to buy and sell things. So we'll see where that goes. I've gotten even more into thrifting and going to estate sales. So those are ways that I find secondhand things outside of Marketplace. But I will say that even though I don't have Facebook and Instagram anymore, I don't spend time scrolling on Instagram like I used to. I definitely spend more time on Reddit now and in different communities, but that gets boring after a while because people ask the same questions all the time in the communities, like instead of just searching for the answer. And then I also spend actually more time on YouTube now. Like I found more creators that I like to watch periodically. Saturday, Sunday morning are like kind of my YouTube times where I'll get coffee and sit on the couch and watch YouTube videos on TV of all the people that I follow that have uploaded videos that week. So I have a lot of plans for videos coming up, some different things, because also I feel motivated to make videos, but I'm also using it to motivate myself to do other things, like getting back to sewing. I did a lot of sewing in 2001, and in 2002 a little bit. I did some sewing, and then last year, or I guess 23, 24, I did not sew very much. So I want to get back into that, and wanting to make a video about it will hopefully motivate me to actually do it. I have fabric. When we were moving, I had so much fabric. A lot of it actually got rid of because it was just scraps or like remnants of things that were never going to make anything. But it helped me reorganize the fabric that I do have. I have bought fabric and patterns with the intention of making specific things, and I've just never gotten around to it. So I definitely want to do that soon because we're going into spring and summer. I can make a couple new dresses. That will be fun. What other ideas do I have? We also, now with our new house, we have a yard. So we have a front yard and a fenced-in backyard. And it's so funny how things work out because I kept telling myself, this is before we even considered moving, I kept telling myself I wanted a house, an older house with mature trees on the property for the shade, because our last house was a brand newly built townhouse that the sun just beat down and beat down and beat down. And it was well insulated, it was well built, but we'd have to like put multiple layers of curtains on the windows so that we could sleep, that we wouldn't have sun just beating into the window. And that's exactly the house that we found. And we have, I don't even know how many trees we have between the front yard and backyard. Now, the downside to that is we have, in the fall, we moved here in October, right when the leaves are starting to change in fall. We had leaves, gosh, like I want to say, this is exaggerating, but I want to say up to my knees in leaf, just layers and layers of from all the leaves that fell. And we've spent a lot of time working on that, especially in the backyard, and we're still not done. Obviously we could, if we spent every weekend on it, we would have knocked it out, but it's hard work to rake leaves and bag them up. And because we're renting, but part of our lease is that we have to care for the yard. So far we've hired people to cut the grass for us because we don't even own a lawnmower because we've never needed one before. But the other, I don't want to say downside, because I'm grateful for the trees that now that it's been getting warmer, we can already tell that they're going to make a big difference in the temperature of the house. But the other part of that is that even though we have tons of space, we don't have anywhere to really grow plants because it's all shade. So that's how we ended up with 2 community gardens, actually 3 plots and 2 gardens. And I've made a couple videos about that so far, where I sought out other places to grow stuff, to do my gardening, and got extremely lucky and found 2 different places that had openings. So definitely check out those videos if you want to see what I'm growing in those plots. And then so I started with 2, and then I had a 3rd one, and the last video I published was start to finish everything, weeding, putting compost, everything into our new plot that we just got. So that's all exciting. I'll definitely be sharing a lot of updates about that. But overall, I'm glad I finally did this. I have book club, so because I work from home now, fully remote, I like rarely ever wear makeup. I do my hair because I want it to look nice on camera, but like 2 or 3 times a month maybe I'll wear makeup, and one of those times is tonight because I have a book club. Joined a book club to meet other people in the area. So I thought it'd be a good time to take advantage and film this video. So if you've gotten this far, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions or anything you want to chat about, just leave it in the comments.